So we're talking Georgia, Georgia Tech after what we saw last night. Madness with that game, 8 overtimes, completely madness. Georgia, the first part of that game looked like typical Georgia B. Georgia A punches you in the mouth, can go on the road and beat Texas. Georgia B can struggle against Georgia Tech and teams that they normally dominate. So I do think that, yes, they're in. I think with the win last night, regardless of the SEC championship game they're going to get, I don't think they punished them for not winning the SEC championship game. My only thing is what team are we going to get, not only the SEC championship game, but in the college football playoffs? Because Georgia B is going to get walloped by whoever they play. Georgia A is a top contender. So we really got to figure out and see what team we're going to get. And if Georgia keeps playing Georgia 1B bat football, they're going to get ran out the first round. I know they may potentially get a bye. I don't see Texas losing twice to them. I think if Texas and Georgia make it to the... If Texas wins today, I think Texas beats Georgia for the SEC championship game, and Texas holds that spot, and then Georgia would have some home playoff game to host, and we kind of go from there. A lot of questions around Georgia. I'm not sold yet. They've had a couple bad losses. They've also had a couple good wins, but it's such a flippy team. You don't know who you're going to get. So for this discussion, I do think they're in. I think that they're not going to, like I said, they're not going to punish Georgia for losing the SEC championship game. But if Georgia doesn't bring what they normally bring, they're going to get out real quick, and it's going to be a real slap in the face of Georgia fans. So that's my thing with Georgia. It was a great game last night, an instant classic. I'm not a big guy of that rivalry. Don't really haven't paid attention to. I'm not a Georgia Tech guy, obviously. But that was a heck of a game. 8 overtime win for Georgia. I feel like Georgia Tech handed that game to Georgia. Georgia Tech lost that game. They could have done so much more. But Georgia won. Georgia did what they needed to do to win. Georgia Tech had chances. They couldn't do it. So looking forward to seeing what Georgia does in the playoffs and next week in the SEC championship game.